Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new all of the above budget movie review. And this time, it's time to revisit Bourne. But this time, the Bourne series. Um, what I talked about in my previous Bourne video with Richard Chamberlain, there is a modern version of Bourne with Matt Damon, and it's good. It's impressive. Um, yeah, and it's takes his own spin on the story. Let's keep it at that. Well, we start with the beginning, of course, the Bourne Identity. And the Bourne Identity is, well, the movie we all know. Jason Bourne wakes up in an island, no, in a hospital this time, or on a boat. Yeah, on a boat, sorry. I've seen so many different versions of this movie in short time. But he wakes up on a boat being operated on, or after being operated on, and he can't remember who he was. So the first movie is him trying to find out who he is and what is Treadstone and why he can't remember anything and what he was doing before he lost his memory. That's the first Bourne movie in a nutshell. And it's a highly action packed spy thriller. It has some good action, it has good scenes, and Matt Damon is really an action hero in this movie. When in Team America he was being, well, teased because he was Matt Damon. Matt Damon. That's why I got it in the last video because it was from Team America. Um, yeah, just a little inside joke for the people who watched Team America. So I love the first one, and it ended, and it was a good movie. Then, because there were three books written by Robert Ludlum, Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, and a Bourne Ultimatum. So the next book that would be, yeah, brought to the big screen was the Bourne Supremacy. And this is where the series gets interesting. The Bourne Supremacy is about what happens when, what literally happens when from the direct actions of the first movie flow into the second movie. We see Bourne at the end of the first movie say goodbye to this life and go to places unknown with Marie. And in the second movie, we find out where those places unknown are and what will happen to Marie. I won't spoil it, but uh, after those things happen, he goes back to America to take down Treadstone, as he promised in the first movie. If you ever come after me, I'll come back. And he does. And it's action packed. We see more of his past and guilt over what he did in his past, trying to right the wrongs that he did. And there's a little time glitch in the movies. Sorry, if you've seen yeah, the plasters, I've just fallen on my ass and hurt my hands. So nothing to worry you about, but hey, it's still there. Uh, well, there is a little time glitch where we see something happen at the end of the movie or around the end of the movie that, well, seems like they time jumped. Then we go to the third movie, The Bourne Ultimatum, and that literally is a direct sequel to Supremacy. It plays in the same time, and we see Bourne taking on Treadstone again, finding out more about his past, eventually finding out who he was and how he came to Treadstone, and then we find out what the time jump is in the Bourne Supremacy, because in the second one he was in Russia and A few moments later, he was in New York. Now we find out what happens in New York, and there's one scene where you notice, hey, that's the end of the movie, the last movie, and it continues back there then. But the trilogy rounds off the story, and it's done. The Bourne series was done, as was told. But we know if something makes money in Hollywood, it's never really done. Because a few years later, Jeremy Renner took up the mantle for the Bourne legacy, and he plays another Treadstone agent. This movie has a lot to do with how the Treadstone agents are being kept docile, how they are indoctrinated, how they are chemically enslaved in a way they are just made addicted to drugs that they need to keep their strengths up. So we find Jeremy Renner playing extra or a Treadstone agent, and we find out more about what happens. This movie literally takes place around the last movie, Ultimatum, and it takes into account what happened with Jason Bourne. We hear his name called a few times, and that what happens in the Bourne legacy is a direct result of what happened in Ultimatum. So that links the series. So that makes it a fourth entry into this series with Edward Norton, who played the Hulk in the first Hulk Marvel movie of the MCU. Um, so the Bourne series was living on without Matt Damon, but fans are hardcore fans, or they are not, but they wanted Matt Damon. So in the end, they got Matt Damon in the Jason Bourne movie, and that's the fifth entry into the Jason Bourne series. Also connects to the other movies, but tells a story of a Jason Bourne who is a bit older and finds out more about his father and what his father did with Treadstone and what his role in the entire plan was. And yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It was a good one. It yeah, wasn't as good as the trilogy, but it was a good enough movie, worthy of the name Bourne. So yeah, I'm curious to know. Have you seen all the Bourne movies? If you have or haven't, um, what's stopping you if you haven't? And if you have, let me know why down below. And if you want to like, you can like it. And if you want to subscribe, you can do that too. Um, that leaves me to say thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you.